Joe Rodon has signed for Leeds United permanently. Well, maybe. Not really, but probably. It's very, very complicated. Blame social media. Is this too many banners? I'm starting to think this might be too many banners. Anyway, the whole thing is very complicated, and I'm here to talk through what got everyone into a little bit of a frenzy last night, why everyone thinks that a Joe Rodon move permanently from Spurs is now probably on, why I might agree, but also why I think we were being a little bit silly. So, diving into it, we need to start by talking about Sam Rodon's tweet, which is ultimately what sort of kicked everything off. So, nice little bit of context for anyone that missed it is Sam Rodon tweeted this out last night, which was basically a picture of his brother, again tweeted last night, of him in a Leeds United shirt, full kit, and nice little bit of digital art. And the thing that got a lot of people thinking is that this was entirely unprompted. It got the likes of Ellis Platten, Jer, Luke from Ought to Know Better, Sam Rodon saying, "It's a great picture, Bill," in response to someone saying, "What does this mean, Sam?" Yeah, of course, that's what you meant. Makes me think that there's definitely something there, because this isn't the sort of thing that you just tweet completely out of nowhere, especially if your brother has just left that club. Another quick point is that Sam Rodon looks like he's increasingly becoming a Leeds fan. The number of pictures that he's got on his social media of him in Leeds kits and having a great time with various fans or staff members, incredible. Love to see it. And he has hinted at things in the past that have come to pass. And in my opinion, this does increase the chance of a move a little bit. Add on to that the fact that there are some corroborating factors to this. It isn't just his brother did a tweet. There's a bunch of stuff going on at the same time that makes me think, actually, there could be something quite significant in this. First up is the fact that we don't have a retained list yet. For context, a retained list is the list of what your club is going to be doing with various players and their contract situations that comes out at the end of any season. So it'll say these players are remaining at the club, these players are out of contract, these players have gone back to their sides on loan. Or if you have signed someone on loan, we've signed this person permanently after a loan for a season. Other clubs have had theirs out for a good while now. Borough, for example, I think released theirs a while back, and that's how we knew that they signed Luke Ayling on a permanent deal, which was sort of interesting, because it was like, okay, I guess we don't get to announce that. That's very weird. But add all this together, and it makes me think that we're clearly waiting on something. There are some conversations happening behind the scenes that are saying, okay, we can't release the retained list yet, because if we do, it won't be complete. It could be a few things. It could be Sam Byram only had a 1-year contract, which has now, well, will now at the end of the month expire. Same for Liam Cooper. Luke Ayling's already sorted. Might still be discussions of the Sam Greenwood situation. I'm not 100% sure, but in my opinion, something that makes sense as to why it would hold up these talks for so long is that securing that Joe Rodon deal would make sense to me here. Getting that deal done is something that would be absolutely massive to be able to announce it in a retained list. Like, the 49ers are good at PR. Let's get that very, very clear. And I think it'd be something a little bit different, a little bit fun, if they were to release the fact that we've permanently signed one of our players of last season in a retained list rather than a press release. Very weird, very specific, but I think that's something that could be quite fun for them to do. In terms of price, I discussed this on a stream I did last night. I think the rumoured numbers around 8 to 12 million pounds. Some people saying 10, putting it towards the lower end of that list. As far as I'm aware, Spurs effectively need to sell him this year, because they've got 1 season left on his contract, which means that in a year, if they don't sell him now, he gets to leave for free without signing a new contract, which I think he will probably do. Because, let's be honest, he doesn't have a future at Spurs at the moment. They have signed better centre-backs since then. So I don't really see a return being on the cards for him, and that adds up to the reasons that I see him coming to Leeds, because Spurs need to sell if they want any money from him. And Daniel Levy, no matter how much of a prick he seems to be, is good at FFP stuff. He knows what he's doing when it comes to the financial rules, and he will want to sell rather than lose a player on a free. But then again, I do believe we will be signing Joe Rodon, but we do a hell of a lot of reading into context as fans. And I had one little bit of a question. Are we all being a little bit silly? Because at the end of the day, it is a nice bit of fan art. It is a nice bit of art that Sam Rodon, as he has said, it's a great picture, Bill, has decided to put on his Twitter account. And that might just be because it's really, really nice. Good bit of graphic design, fantastic, looks good. Still don't understand the little purple triangle on it, but maybe he just likes the colour purple. And let's be honest, this might not necessarily mean anything. People post things all the time. Like, hold on. Like, throwing back a bit, I think Donald Trump's niece hates him and tweets mad stuff on Twitter all the time. I'm not saying that Sam Rodon's genuinely insane and far right, but just saying that you don't necessarily take tweets at not even face value, but deeply implied value. We've gone through layers of overthinking to get to the idea that this basically confirms a move. And whilst I hope it does, I don't think it necessarily means that it amounts to anything. But basically, I do think a Joe Rodon move is pending. I think it will come in the next week or so. We have 9 days, I think, until we need to release that retained list, and I think we will do so before that. I think it will be a deal in that £8 to £12 million range permanently. I don't see it being a loan because that would be very stupid from Spurs. They wouldn't get anything out of that. And I think it's going to be a relatively long-term contract because I can see Rodon staying at the club for a while. However, I think we can probably wait a little while before we start popping the champagne. Because the moment we start doing that, the moment we start reading too much into Instagram posts, we get a little bit too social media-ified. You need to still remember that, like, even on news now, a lot of that, in terms of articles, is very clickbaity or hyper-generated. I once got something to the top of news now that said that there was a light on in an Elland Road boardroom on deadline day, which isn't really a story, but it got to the top of news now and it got thousands of views. We can wait. Be a bit patient. It'll be fine. It'll all work out. We'll probably sign Rodon. If we don't, we'll sign someone else that's probably just as good instead. But ultimately, I want to know what you think. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about this whole shebang. Do you think there is anything to read into the tweet? Because let's be honest, the timing was suspicious, but it is just a tweet. What do you think is going to happen throughout the entire transfer window? And what sort of price are you expecting? That's the thing that's a little bit weird to me. I don't know where you'd sort of cost him. Bit bizarre. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, pop a like on it, subscribe, even become a channel member, all that good stuff. And I will see you later. You see, this was a much calmer discussion than the one where I brought up that cursed picture of Joe Rodon as a panda eating some mental leeks. Like, it turned out to be this. Like, this is what I'm going to leave the final moments on. What happened in that stream? Bonkers. See you later.